we should already have in our interactive notebook this cell theory. So we're just going to review it. So if you remember, the cell theory stated that all living things are composed of one or more cells. All living things are composed of one or more cells. That cells are the basic unit of structure and function in an organism. And finally, that cells come from pre-existing cells. So those were the three parts of the cell theory. Now, why are cells so small? Now, you just watched a video and answered some questions on why are cells so small. So let's talk about this a little bit. Transport. Okay? Transport. The cell surface area to volume ratio favors a smaller size. So the surface area to volume ratio favors a smaller size. Also, control. The nucleus to cytoplasm consideration. How far from the nucleus to the most distant parts of the cytoplasm? Okay, because believe it or not, we're going to learn later where we talk about stuff leaving the nucleus, going out into the cytoplasm to do their specific function. We'll talk about that later on here. So, why are cells so small? Well, let's talk about the first one here, transport, surface to volume ratio. Okay, right here I have three different types of blocks. Okay, it's all the same. If I look at this here, here, what we're going to do is we're going to look at number one block, then we're going to look at one of these individual blocks here, and then one of these individual blocks here. So we're just going to look at one of those blocks there. But if we are talking about our surface area of each face, so if I have the area of this face of the block, it is equal to the length times the width. So the area is equal to length times width. Well, how many sides do I have on a cube? Okay, stop and think about a dice. A dice or a die is a cube, right? How many sides are there to a dice? 6, right? So, to get the surface area of a cube here, we take the length times width and we multiply it by 6. Because we have 6 different sides to that cube. Now, what is the volume of a cube? What is the volume of a cube? Well, the volume is equal to the length times the width times the height. Okay? So volume is length times width times height. Surface area is length times width. The total surface area is length times width multiplied by the 6 sides of the cube. So as we look at these, and like you heard on the video, block number 1 here. Okay? Let's say block number 1 is a 3 centimeter by 3 centimeter block. So 3 times 3 is equal to 9 centimeters squared would be my label. So what would be my total surface area? I would need to take that 9 and multiply it by by 6. So 9 times 6 is 54. Now, if I have a 3 centimeter cube, right? If I have a 3 centimeter cube, okay, then my length times width times height is going to be 3 times 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27. So if I take my surface area to volume ratio, my surface area is 54, my volume is 27, that is going to give me the ratio of 2 to 1. So my surface area to volume ratio is 2 to 1. Now let's look at block number 2. Block number 2 is a 2 centimeter block. It's a little bit smaller. So 2 times 2 is 4. What's 4 times 6? You math wizards, what's 4 times 6? How about 24 centimeters squared? So my total surface area is 24 centimeters squared. Well, my volume is going to be 2 centimeters by 2 centimeters by 2 centimeters. So 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8. So my total volume is going to be 8 centimeters cubed. So my surface area to volume ratio is going to be 24 to 8, which breaks down to a 3 to 1 ratio. A 3 to 1 ratio. Now let's look at our third block, our smallest one. This is a 1 centimeter block. So the area is 1 times 1, which is 1 cubic centimeter. I multiply that by 6, and I get 6 cubic centimeters. My volume is length times width times height. So it's 1 times 1 times 1, which gives me 1 cubic centimeter. So if I am doing the surface area to volume ratio, it is, for this one, 6 to 1. 6 to 1. So, what does this tell me? This tells me that the smaller the size is, the greater the surface area is. If I have greater surface area, then I'm able to diffuse more substances in and out of that particular cell. Okay? So, where's the greatest surface area? On the smaller block. Therefore, that is why cells are smaller. The surface area to volume ratio. Now, how small can a cell be? Bacteria can be anywhere from 0.1 to 1.0 micrometers. Okay? Micrometers. That's what that little, this is a Greek letter here, but that sounds for micrometers. And what that is, a micrometer is 1/1,000,000th of a meter. So think about a meter stick, thinking about putting 1,000,000 marks on a meter stick. That's pretty small, isn't it? Okay? So a micrometer is 1/1,000,000th of a meter. Okay, folks, if you have a Chromebook, go ahead and put it back.